if I'm about to sign with the agent, what are some common questions I need to ask the agent prior to signing with them?
I think that depends on what situation you in. Like, you know, I think it's a different parameter. I think it's different parameters based on what situation you're coming out of.
Right.
Let's say you are a big time star coming out of Ohio State versus a big time star coming out of Florida Southern.
Right.
I think it's two different ways you go about the process. Because like, if you coming from a big time situation, a lot of time you're gonna have tons of agents coming at you. You know what I'm saying? And you coming from a smaller situation, a lot of times you gotta go out and choose your agent or represent yourself. But I think the initial questions everybody need to ask is like, first of all, I just think you need to know what they think about your game. I think that's the number one thing, because it's like you could beg this guy to be your agent, but if he thinks you suck, obviously he can still get you a job and make money off you, but he's gonna make that money this big.
And he ain't gonna get you the next job.
End of the day, all the agent is a middleman between you and teams to get you work so he can get a finder's fee. I mean, that's literally all he's doing. So if you got a guy that truly believes in your talent and knows your skill set, like for example, if me and Cam are up for the same job and we got two different agents, my agent say the agent says they want Cam over me. If you have an agent that knows your game, that knows basketball, that knows how to dissect your game and dissect his, he could work in your favor and be like, well, look, Cam in this situation can't do X, Y, Z, but Darian thrives in this situation. You know what I'm saying? It's certain things that they could do. So I would just say, find out what they think of your game. Secondly, what countries do they have connections? Personal connections. Like what countries can they pick up the phone and call and get a conversation? You know what I'm saying? I think that's another great question.
One I was thinking about was you always got to ask the agent what are some of his biggest clients.
Yeah.
I think that's an important one just because you can run into a lot of these small time agents who don't got nobody, and you know you think that, especially when you're starting off, like you said, from a smaller position, if you're not going to Ohio State or a D1 and you're coming from a smaller situation, you want somebody that's going to help you progress. And a lot of these agents may not have the credibility, they may not have the players, because these agents who have somewhat big players or players on certain leagues, they have the credibility to sell another player who, you know, they may not traditionally look at. So seeing what type of players they have on their roster, you know, or what other players, you know, what's the biggest player you have as far as, in some agents, you know, that question, it depends on the agent. But if the agent wants you, then you know he'll relinquish that information if he has something to brag about. If he has a player on some type of level that's respected. Because you don't want to just keep, unless you get on a certain job with a certain agent for 1 year, then it's like, or do you just want to get out there first? Then by all means, you know, sign with a small time agent just to get out there. But after you've been playing for a little while, you want to make sure you're getting agents who are you want to grow with, and you want to continue to like get better jobs with.
I also think too, like it's important for an agent to know what particular market that you can be marketable in, because I mean, I think that's an important question. Like you have to know what market am I made for, because you're coming out of college, you have no idea what overseas means.
Right.
So you at this point in time, overseas is just leaving the States to go play basketball somewhere. It's many different levels of overseas. You know, like for example, I have a South American guy who has represented me in the past, and he knows exactly what market fits my game.
Right.
Not only one that fit my game, but the ones where I'll be more successful to get jobs from, because these are the type of players they look for and the type of situation they look for, and he has direct contact. That's very important, because it's like, it's easy for agents to just put you out there to every job available, but then it's also another thing where you have an agent that's like, you know what, look, I'm strong in these 4 countries, and you fit the criteria for these 4 countries. And in that scenario, you know, if you get a job there, you forever can come back and play there if you play well. You know what I'm saying? I think those are some things you gotta ask, and then like ask what type of game plan are they looking at as far as your career path? You know, like, is this a thing where they only gonna get you one job and that's all they can get you? Or is it like they can actually put together like a game plan and a formula that can be followed for some years to come? I think these are all things you gotta ask. Also, I think you gotta go into it knowing like the agent worked for you and you don't work for the agent, because a lot of agents, especially overseas, will kind of like become a problem if you don't understand that, because they'll bring you jobs and that might not be what you see for yourself or what you really want to do. They might think making $800 a month is good,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? But you be like, nah, that's not okay.
Yeah.
And you can burn a bridge that way because they don't understand. They never created a relationship with you. Like y'all are business partners in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's really how it works. And I think you got to look for somebody that you can partner up with your brand can partner with them.
Right.
That's really what you
Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, like you said, and you have to have an agent that understands you in a sense, and understands what's important to you, and it's not just trying to sell you on, trying to trick you into doing something, but knowing your worth, knowing what type of player you are, what you're worth, and of course it's good to make sacrifices, but at the end of the day, you have to do what's in your best interest.
Yeah.